What's up, people? Welcome back to Bruddas. We've been away for quite a long time. We take a COVID break and now we are back. I'd like to congratulate the teams that we missed. Liverpool, congratulations to them with the first ever Premier League title. Congrats to Bayern, congrats to Sevilla, Juve, PSG, all of them there. And also, congrats to Tier 4 TV. We made 1 month last week or last 2 weeks on the 1st of September. So, big up to Tier 4 TV as well. And big up to Corner Flag Talk. As you could see, we're in a new set, a new studio. And this is all they're doing. So, this is John from Corner Flag Talk and this is Virgil. We like to welcome them on the channel. What's going on, fellas?
Appreciate it, man. Nice to be here. Nice to be the guest though, for once though. Feels different.
Yeah, it does. That's an experience. Looking forward to it.
What's going on so far?
Right now, Corner Flag involved with 2 fantasy leagues, so that is what's going on right now. So if anyone interested, you can join. All kind of things to be won, kits, cash prizes, all kind of stuff. We were really honored to be invited to them after the success we saw with our free league last year. And yeah, just about adding some friendly competition. Corner Flag wise, we looking to do more this year, looking to expand a little bit. Trying to do some more work in terms of having people be more informed of what's going on with their national team, with their local scene, their local players and that kind of stuff. And in doing so, we expand our team. One of those is David Carlett himself being part of us this coming year, and about 10 to 12 more journalists have joined on board, and we really hope to be bringing some quality product forward, some quality content, and most importantly going forward is to be able to provide a voice for things that myself might not be that informed about, that Virgil might not be that informed about, but that provide a platform for them to be able to speak on these things, right? Including like the local senior football stuff abroad, that kind of thing.
Now you've been doing good in the past month or two.
Thanks, man.
Like I really admire the growth of it going through right now.
It is a journey, dog. It's really a journey, you know. You talk about that we in the studio here, and Virgil and I started this on the 25th of September 2018. It was the first episode we did this in our kitchen. And sit down on a Sunday though, just getting a favor from Aaron Williams, big up yourself Aaron. And now, we have our own studio and we're looking to just keep going forward, keep growing. The road now is smooth, you got high days where you have 5 listens done, you have 3 listens done thing. But those just make you appreciate the days that you hit the 50s and the 60s and that kind of thing more. So yeah.
That's good, man, that's good.
But I'm ready to get my fan back though, because that's why we're here though, I'm ready to be biased though.
Well, yeah, obviously this is the Premier League preview season starting. Well, by the time this video will be out, we'll be able to say tomorrow.
Yeah.
And, well, because I'm the host, we'll start with Chelsea.
Yeah.
So, your opinion on Chelsea, what's going on in the window, what's going on with Lampard?
Well, biasly speaking then, I really love Ziyech. I've always really loved Ziyech. The man, him and Havertz have both been open about their role model being Ozil, and that alone you get me to start watching them. And then their style of play, well, Havertz one is a little more similar to Ozil. Ziyech, both of them are fantastic players, are fantastic prospects. And the truth is that both of them being announced by Chelsea. It hurt me a little bit, seeing players that I really loved. I would have loved to see at my club, even though I know we're just not there at the moment. But I like the names. I have worries that if Frank will be able to integrate all these mature players at the same time, because the truth is that what we have seen from Frank across his career so far is that he's integrated a lot of young players, both at Derby and at Chelsea, and we haven't really seen, other than a late integration of Drew last year during COVID football, we haven't really seen them take more established players in the game and get it to gel quickly together. So it'll be interesting to see some of that.
Yeah, and as I say, looking at Chelsea, you just sit back and you admire the business they're doing, because for one, there was no Kai Havertz is the future of football, not only for German football but football moving forward. And having those players in Timo Werner.
You use the word admire, right?
Yeah.
You make it sound like if your club don't spend the same kind of money.
Yeah, but that's why I said I can sit back. I can understand it. That's quality business Chelsea put on. I can't be vexed with that.
Really?
I can't be vexed with that.
We spent 22 million.
But I from saying, you know that bringing in a lot of players, the difficult part is getting them to gel together.
Yeah.
And one, I'm glad that those players in the Prem because I like when the Prem, take that step up.
Yeah.
But I know for a fact it's going to be difficult. And if it happens to Chelsea, and if it do happen, I know.
Well, we made about 8 signings, right? And
Yeah.
we have a keeper, Mendy on the way, and possibly Rice on the way too. Like, how much do these new signings impact the team? Or will impact?
So I think that out of all the men to join, I think the men who are go straight into the lineup would be Siak, Virgil, more than likely Havertz. Although like we don't mount as the man's favorite son, because they get tired. They say, oh, let's see Mount start and Havertz on the bench next. But yeah, Chilwell, Thiago, and I actually still expect Kepa to start, but like Kepa club, Kepa is the manager.
If we get Mendy, Kepa will be benching a lot.
I think he would bench the second he make an error. But I think he'll start the season, and I feel like they'll keep him there. Like kind of similar to like what true Emery is not a good example, but kind of similar to like what Emery did with Checker and Leno when we brought in Leno. Is like he waited until the opportunity came for Leno to get into the 11. And unfortunately, it was through injury, and then Leno just never looked back after that. And it looked like Martinez did the same thing, so I wouldn't be surprised. Like, keeper is a funny position. Like everybody's moved different and how they integrate keepers. So, like, if he was there like for a few weeks now, then yeah, I'd say he does start. But I feel like Kepa will start, and unless he start real bad, I think Kepa will stay the starting keeper for a while.
I'll just say we made like about 8 signings, but we barely let out anybody. So that means we have big squad depth.
Yeah.
Is that too much for Lampard? Could he manage to rotate these players?
But it's real football to play. I mean, if anybody knows what good squad rotation will be, like when De Bruyne and Foden not playing, it's Bernardo, so I'm good to Gandalf.
Yeah.
I have elderly. Life dies there, I mean, you can talk about that.
I like when Lucy though.
Yeah, I really like him too.
He's good in his own league. But I still like for Chelsea. It's gonna be tough, and as I always say, those signings brought in wasn't really necessarily Lampard signings. Davis brought forward for the future of Chelsea. So whether it go left,
I think it was Lampard signings.
I don't feel all of them was Lampard signings for sure. I'm pretty sure. I feel like majority of those players is like that you have the money set there. Best to jump and get it now. Best to just get them right now and worry about how you're going to use them later.
Yeah.
I feel like Bruno for sure was that, and I feel like Kai for sure was that. But I know all the other signings. I feel like.
And I think a lot of these signings is in the mold of what Chelsea have always been about now. We don't really care about necessarily what the manager wants now. So what the club being successful at the end of the day. And if the manager not doing good 6-7 months on the line, well, bye-bye. And about that, like I know I say that you're clunging and everything, but the truth is that system has reaped a ton of success for Chelsea, Chelsea, as far as I remember, was the most successful team over the last decade. And a part of that was rotating about 8 managers. Yeah, between 2010 and 20. But it was close though. Or rather, they had the wider array of trophies, I should say, because they wanted the European trophies in that time, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of that success was because of cutting and moving managers. For example, they won the Champions League after letting go Andrew Villas-Boas and bringing in RDM. They won the Europa League after cutting RDM and bringing in Benitez, So
Benitez did make us lose Club World Cup final, and I would never forgive him for that.
Yeah. I mean, you win some, you lose some.
Yeah, win some, you lose some.
Nah, that was a game we should have won.
Yeah, they went Pato scored, don't Neymar scored or something like that.
Good.
Right, yeah.
Don't for that.
But yeah, I really worry for Lamso because I like him, I do, as a coach, and I think that he has a bright future in the game as long as he doesn't get thrown around too early. And it's a case of Chelsea giving him time, which is not something we have seen from Abramovich in his 10 years old of Chelsea.
I think it would be different with Lampard because Lampard was one of the OG players that Abramovich built in. And Abramovich earned well, he built up a love for Lampard, Robert Terry, Czech, Ashley Cole, the OG players. So I think Lampard will be first manager to be given time.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, he, for sure he'll be given time, but
Well, he has the financial backing
yeah,
already.
he get back in for sure. But with time, you need trophies, and I feel like a club like Chelsea, as we know the.
I think they can still expect something this season.
Do I?
Even if
For
it's like
sure.
a couple something.
Whether it's be a couple or not, I feel like that would be expected. And as I say, if it's not challenge and try your best to close the gap to City and Liverpool, for sure that have to be the case.
And as a Chelsea fan, right, what you think would constitute success for him this season then?
Top 4 for sure.
Yeah.
Domestic trophy,
Yeah.
League Cup, FA Cup,
Yeah,
one of them
yeah.
all both. And quarterfinal Champions League.
Yeah, and that's a lot to see. That's a good bit you have to know because I think as we said on our most recent episode that the domestic scene is getting a lot tougher and that in my opinion there's up to 7 to 8 teams that competing for the top 4. That doesn't make it easy. And while by a mile Chelsea has better names on paper to a lot of them, there are a lot of these teams that have lesser names and are way more bonded together as a squad to play better. A best example is Wolves, Like,
Sheffield too.
and Sheffield exactly. And you excluding teams like obviously teams that was in the top 4 this year will be content to be next year. Then there's the Spurs, the Arsenal, the Leicester, the
Consider
Wolves.
Everton too.
Yeah. Big one thing. All I actually had to do that was go on the phone and press all the speed dial buttons and whoever pick up first his side.
That is the time.
But yeah, it real sticky now and I don't doubt Lampard's ability as a coach. What I worry about is that you're putting him in a situation that is very hard to do now, which is integrate people from a lot of different cultures because you have one coming from a Moroccan from the Dutch league, you have 2 Germans coming from the German league, you have English left back, you have a Brazilian centre back from the French league. How much of these guys speak in the same language? How many of these guys came from similar tactical setups in these other teams, There's a lot of integration.
Egos and things you gotta deal with too.
Yeah, so it's
I
a
don't
big
think
job.
it's happening a lot.
They might, for sure they might not have, but over time that could.
I
think the only
I
man
think
would-
Chilwell is a big
Yeah, I think the only man with ego would be Chilwell.
For sure.
Because he's English and because he's English, yeah.
But
But with Chelsea squad depth and with the players Chelsea brought in, which would be better for them, 3-4-3 or 4-3-3? Because we see
I think
Chelsea play both
4-3-3.
last season.
I think 4-3-3. Actually, it depends. If Alonso start and then 3-4-3, like I know Chilwell will start, but Alonso that left wing back different. I Israel joke and I say that somebody should try play 4-4-2 and play one top with somebody. I feel he get real squad. Honest to God, I feel like he get real pot.
But in a 3-4-3, how will some Mount room start?
Well, Mount can start because Mount would always start to Lampard. But Mount can start on the wing or something. And Pulisic has a high chance of missing the opening few weeks of the season, opening few days at least, not much, but yeah. So he could start there, but I think long term the 4-3 would be the aim because obviously that's a big part of Lampard's playing coming through the years at Chelsea. I think that's a big part of where football is right now, using the 4-3 system, and I think that allows Mount and Havertz to be still using the same team. And there's where Declan Rice would have come in that he'd be the final piece
Now,
of
Mount and
puzzle.
Havertz could play in the same team when Kovacic and Kante did it.
Well, guys, you can't say one stays fit and 2
And Jorginho.
stays. Yeah, but no Chelsea fan want Jorginho to play.
I want Jorginho to play.
Good.
Yeah,
He's the first one I hear that
I
done. No
feel like
lie.
if they put Jorginho there, that's going to upset the system. I feel like.
He's our best creative player though. Well, last year. I mean, Havertz will be our best creative player now.
Only let the most creative player go to Arsenal, bro.
Nah, it's not good.
Nah.
Willian had the best
Stop
creative metrics of anybody in Chelsea, though.
Stop.
But it's true, that isn't even me just saying that, that is like fact though. Like, he had the best creative metrics of anybody in Chelsea, and he had the second best creative metrics of any right wing in the league after Mahrez.
The fact that William could have finessed a move to a team that's still relevant, and I had applaud William for that. I feel William is the only one that win that transfer.
Now the man is the streets Ronaldinho though.
Man, the man bringing the foot.
But that man living on one spot, and he do for Brazil for like 5 years now.
Man to try crossing and then just, and for some reason.
No, but that was a big part for me when Chelsea coming on the stretch last season was creativity. And even when Jorginho played, Jorginho is fantastic in helping your team control the tempo of a team. And yeah, just like Busquets, that they will put on a pass every couple of years or there will be a goal creating chance. But it's not their forte now, it's not their niche in the side. And I think if you're moving on, Jorginho and you play actual DM with a combination of Kova, Mount, Kai. I only say Mount over Kova because again that is Lampard's favorite son. But I would have preferred Kova to play over Mount with Kai Havertz. I think it's a much more balanced team. And given the kind of hybrid that Kai is between being a creator and a good goal scorer, you have Ziyech being the same thing. You have Pulisic who's capable of both and Werner who's a goal scorer. Then I think you're looking at a way better team there without Jorginho in it because you wouldn't need Jorginho's passing ability there, then Kovacic makes up for that on his own.
Yeah, I have a point to know. I think, okay, if we play Jorginho, we have to play Giroud.
Yeah. But you don't want to play Giroud. So, you want to play Bruddas.
Yeah, but Bruddas can't play with him.
Then we have Tammy for, in my opinion, I think Tammy should start above Werner to start this season, But if Pulisic was fit, like I think Tammy on top with Havertz, Pulisic and Ziyech around him, he'd probably score not as much as he scored this year, but he would real rack assists for them kind of men, dog. You know, because he adds not as much holder play as Giroud, but his mobility means that he's a better link player in terms of when you're playing in transition and that kind of thing, you know.
So what about Werner and Tammy in our front two?
But then is when you look at the
3-5-2.
yeah, that could work.
That can work, you know.
And you keep it Alonso. I just really like to see Alonso play. He just really cracked me up, though. Yeah. And I mean that might, you know, when you suggested the tree, I started to think a lot about Thiago Silva and his lack of legs. And as you see with players like David Luiz too, that you do a lot of covering for that when you play with that Trini back, and there's the central one.
Yeah, true.
And it could seek to benefit him. If you all keep Sarr on the team instead of sending him on loan, who I think is a fantastic player. Oh, you're on the loan. I actually really rate Sarr. I've rated him for years on the
I never saw him play actually.
I watched him because my boy, you know, Patrick Vieira was his coach. Watched him a few times. Thiago and Zuma would have been a good back three, in my opinion. I really rate Zuma too.
Yeah, Zuma is our best defender.
Yeah.
He's our best defender.
So, yeah.
So where expect Chelsea to finish?
They should finish in the top four. Would they? It comes on to just how fast they gel. If they gel quick, then yeah, 100%. Even on lack of tactics, they would just on quality. Just on quality of players like Ziyech and Werner and Havertz and Pulisic. So just on them.
Top four.
They should.
You do
yeah.
top four.
They will get a strong finish to our top four because as you know this season is going to be tough for everybody and I can't see nobody running away with the league and I can see the gap. This is a perfect opportunity to close the gap between the front. And Chelsea have the squad out to everybody else to capitalize on that. They could push for a strong third place. They might be able to nick a second, but it all comes down to how well Lampard can get those players to work.
Yeah.
Well, let's move on and we'll start talking about Arsenal.
Hey, that's a fucking good.
So after 2 trophies in a month, well, a trophy on a plate. But
hey, it's a trophy though. You know why? When Barca, when the sextuple dog, they included their version of the Community Shield.
I'm glad men saying this now, when City win everything.
But I said that too, though.
I know, but that Real Men wasn't saying that
I just
before.
don't get how he is fighting, dog, because if you want to win a sextuple, dog, you have to win the Community Shield, dog, or the equivalent in the country.
But the reality is that it's a competitive friendly.
But right, it's still competitive, dog. And we win.
It's the two big dogs in the line.
Exactly. That's a big game, boy.
On paper, yeah, but in reality, don't be a big. But anyway.
Hey, to reach there, you gotta win something.
So is this the season since maybe 13, 14 or
15, 16.
16 that Arsenal comes to the title?
If we had more financial freedom in the market, yeah. Because like I really like the players that Arteta is targeting, and unlike in Emery and even in Wenger where you don't see cases of like we target X player but there's rumors of X, Y and Z being backups. And none of that. It's our war and party. That's what we're going for, that's what we want. And I like that. because I don't think to get back at the level we want, we should be settling for B players and C players, and that's how we know where we is with men like Socrates and Kolasinac being bombs on the side. But we need to sell, and the problem is we have players who don't want to go. Like for example, I just want Lacazette to get out club, dog. I really do. I really think he's a good player, just in the wrong team. I just needs a change, kind of similar to like what I think about like Pogba too. There's good players that sometimes it just didn't work, and you just need to go somewhere new and start again. And he's holding back my side because he has to play, because he's the number 9, he's the striker. Don't get out my club though, please. I want Oba to play on top. Oba played on top 1 month last year. Scored 6 goals in 4 games. When player of the month though. Scored goals against Spurs and United in that time though. I want my striker to play on top though. I will put this man here. But the aim is to finish top 4. I think if by the end of this window we do get at least one of them, it is realistic. Do I think it's realistic? We will get one of them. I don't. Wait, are we biased? Yeah, well, we get both of them. Yeah. But the problem is we have some real hard fixtures to start the season with, in our first 7 games we playing.
You know Liverpool was the other one?
Yeah, we have played Liverpool, City, United, Leicester, and Sheffield.
Liverpool on game 2.
Nah, that is all here. All here.
Oh yeah, we had Liverpool.
We had the first fixture is kind of nice though. Is Fulham and somebody else, I think Newcastle or something. But after that, there's real pressure though, and as if we can get through those, because those are the fixtures that are going to be happening through the transfer window. How much integration? Right now, W is injured. Apparently, we can just tell Saliba, yeah, you don't know no English, just not play. No defender, just vibes.
But Saliba's a bowler.
Well, Arsenal is a just 5 club though.
Yeah, but I feel they're a little full, but alright.
They get some structure now with young Pep coming in and bring a little structure and put in. You see the build-up play, you see how the only ball actually making smart runs, smart passes. So it's looking good for Arsenal. But you see with all that now, Arteta, the reason why Arteta will be good with Arsenal because he gets best out of these players. And also with this new style of play with Arsenal as well, they could actually attract players like that. There's a lot of players out there. The players that are trying to attract before was players that teams just didn't want. Now they can actually go and challenge the market.
Yeah.
If they can get, that's a whole different story if they can get the players. But down to Arteta, and I feel like Arteta is the man moving forward. I'll always say, if Arsenal dog up Arteta's name, I want him back at City because he has done so much for City.
Yeah.
Everything behind the scenes is Arteta.
No, I used to say though that I could sell every single player in this club though. Still say this though. And I just want to keep Arteta. I genuinely believe that he's a brilliant coach now. The little things that I've seen that he's done, and why I rate him above all these other young coaches you've seen around the world right now is that, at least at top clubs, is that the challenges that he has to face in terms of, like there was a running games where members just getting red cards every game though, or somebody getting injured or something like that. And he wanted difficulties that was thrown at him, and he still managed to finish this season saving face, beating like 5 of the 6 top clubs during that time, and winning a trophy in the end of it. You know, it comes down to him more than anything else because all these players play on the wing, all these players play on the Emery, and all these men look like real failure thing now. And if Mustafi can look decent though on the Arteta, he look usable. But most of these men can look usable though. You know, like Xhaka has been phenomenal though, and I have been saying for years though, I wanted to get rid of this man though, and now I don't even know if I want to anymore. That is how Arteta is changing that in me. Arteta is getting me to believe again. Like, honest with you, Scarlett, when the FA Cup final was coming up, I didn't care. No. If we had won, great though. If it didn't, I didn't care. Because I honestly thought, you know, we'd not done enough, and this is not going to be a true testament of Arteta's season because he was handed a rough job at when the season was already lost and that kind of thing. And then the game started on. I see how we started poor, but then he get him to play good, and he especially the man's the king of the water breaks though. You know, talk to them through that, and I could see the belief flowing through these players again though. Like this wasn't there under Emery now, right? This belief in what the coach has to say and what the manager has to say though. And that belief then now translates to the fans away. Now I believe in Arteta in a different way. That I would obviously he and Oba is obviously Oba I don't want to lose though. But after that, we can sell anybody in there. Why we can sell the whole club though? I just don't want to lose Arteta though. I could trust Arteta to go next season with my under 23s, man. If he say he good with them, man, word, I good too. I can trust whatever he say.
At the moment, Aubameyang future not certain.
Well, actually today it was announced by what I as an Arsenal fan consider their mouthpiece that he signed a new deal, and more than likely by the time that this video going out on Friday, that I'm more likely he would get announced. But I 100% believe he's.
But as it stands, it's not official. So if a deal is not made and Arsenal lose Aubameyang, how much does Arsenal lose? And
No, we lose everything though.
could Arsenal have a competitive season without?
Well, you see, the thing is
And that would bring back Lacazette into the fold.
yeah, it would. And that would, I mean, but there was a point I would say I'm okay with that, because then that would provide a kind of system like Pepe on the right, Willian on the left, and Laka on top. And there's a much more balanced system than what we're playing now. But now I really don't Lacazette beside again though. I think like he's great at holding up the ball. And he has those moments where I think that he can be very lethal in the box. So my problem is that he gets burned by 50 minutes though, and so you know that it's a sub you have to make though. He very rarely does the whole up play and gets into the box though. And while Orba doesn't have that whole up play, he has his own kind of version of it where Orba's not the man to plant 2 feet into the ground down, fix his waist down, and take the ball in his chest hold off 2 men. But Orba will do that is because his movement is so good, is that he'll run into a space where the defenders are following now, take the ball down there, wait for the defender to come, then play off the ball and move on. I think like Orba's so much more suited to play in England, where the amount of running you need to do, especially in the game right now, is so much more rigorous. I think like Laka will do so good in a club like Atleti though, where he have like João Felix playing off of him, and he don't have to do the running. He just is the pivot for men to play off, and I think he'll do so well there. If we had lose over, I would have want to lose Laka one time, dog. We have pocket over 40 million for Laka, hopefully the next 40 for over given away his contract. I mean, it should be more, but given away his contract was. But I can't see me if it convince Real. I think look at you, but trying to loan or something with the option to buy or something.
So Martinelli still in there?
Yeah, till December, which is very unlucky though. But yeah, I rather Nketiah play strike than Laka, and I'd even rate Nketiah that high. I think Martinelli will be better than them, man. But given that I want me to sell Laka now, we need to keep Nketiah this year for depth so that next year we can sell him. But we ain't losing over though. I am worried.
Did you consider last season a success?
No. Because coming into this season, I thought that we had a better squad than Chelsea, had a better squad than United, and I objectively thought
Like
that.
you're the first person here, sir.
Because when I looked at allegedly the style of play that Emery wanted to play, he had players suited to it, you see. You know, it allegedly was something similar to Liverpool, where their wingers play more like inside forwards and the fullbacks play a more creative role. And what men forget is that before Bellerin got injured, Bellerin had the most assists in the league that year for a defender. And it didn't come against Watford, you know, it come against Chelsea, come against United, it come against big teams, he doing those things. I had 8 assists by January, yeah, as a defender. That when Trent doing it now, everybody happy and glad and thing though, but Bellerin was doing it before. And we brought Tierney in, who's another attacking fullback. You have inverted over where Laka holding up like Firmino, and then you have Pepe coming in to try and do something like Salah. And when I look at the season that Pepe had last year though, I really thought that we had the things going forward to build properly. But I did not know that I had a football terrorist in charge of my club who had no clue what to do with a side that's supposed to play competitive football. And in him trying to figure out that, just put my club in more peril. And that is why, you know, like Arteta, while he might not have the experience as Emery, understanding what is required at a certain level beats experience. That is why, like, I would take Lampard over men like Emery, men like Sam Allardyce and them kind of men though. They may not cut to play at the level where winning is the minimum requirement.
So one them two Lampard or Teta and them when they know the club, they love the club.
No, but like beyond that now, like the personality required at the highest level of where that's why Moyes and got at United though, is that he didn't have the personality to win. And you need to when we look at the best coaches in the game is men who could have imposed their team to impose a personality onto others, Like Zidane is a huge personality in football, and he managed to do that with Real Madrid, even without Ronaldo, as we see now. Lampard obviously is a big personality, though. Arteta is big amongst Arsenal, and given that the irony he played with some of these men in his squad, them men respect him, and there's a lot of respect for him in the game as well. Them men understand how to push the game at the top level. Though some of that, I saw them content with sneaking out a draw in Old Trafford and that kind of thing, and at the top level, that's not good enough,
So if Arsenal don't finish top 4,
and
or do win Europa League.
now is a failure.
There's a failure too.
Yeah, because I really believe in what he's building, and maybe I'm a sucker for believing though, but it's the first time I'm believing in this club since 2016 though. This is really the first time though.
But I would say that this is the first time I excited about Chelsea since 2014 when Fabian first got in.
The only reason I told you that finished top 4 last year was because of lack of quality around, And the truth is though is that if we were just slightly more stable, we would have, Because no offense though, but none of the teams outside, and even City to some extent included, was good outside Liverpool. Everybody was rocky from the beginning to the end. And I mean, if I remember right, Arsenal finished with 14 draws, some shipping inside that dog. And we went winless on 7 games though. And in that 7 though, 6 of them was draws. And that can't stand though, and that is relegation form. That is the form of teams that fight to the bottom, compared to, and then look at the teams that end up finishing top 4 was the teams that just happen to get across the line though. Like Chelsea finished with, if I remember right, like 8 losses or something though last season. 9 losses though. United not that different though. Like men can't cheat up with Bruno though, and them get to play on the relegation side and training strong football though. But United look horrible throughout the season, and then started to look decent when Bruno reached, and they started to look good when both Bruno and Pogba was there, and feel like if they was world beaters whole season, because they beat last in the Europa League though.
Yeah, that's all.
But that is not it, boy. And the quality of the league was so poor last year. That is why I just told me that just game, just on quality, and I didn't realize that I had a coach who wanted to play my DM as a cam, and wanted David Luiz to play deep though. Like if he was actually a defender instead of a ball playing defender or something like that. There's madness though. I believe that we'd have finished top 4 if we had Gerrard or Emery, when I thought we should have, which was after we lost to Leicester 2-0 right before an international break. Emery coached 2 more games after that, then Freddie coached 4-5 games after that.
I think we should have let him go like after the Sheffield loss.
Well, I thought so too. Actually, you won't believe, the time I started doubting him more than I was already was when we drew 2-0 to Watford, where we was winning 2-0. And then
That was the winning season though.
Yeah, but we was winning 2-0 and you concede 2 goals and concede 31 shots, dog. In the first 7 matches, we had conceded more shots than any team in the top 5 leagues in Europe, dog. More than teams that get relegated in France, dog, and Germany and them thing, dog. That can't stand. That bad. Emery just not made the coach at the top level, dog. And the truth is, though, we made a bad appointment, dog. And we just had to own that as a club. But what Chelsea's fantastic at doing is recognize when they make a bad appointment and don't wait now, boy.
No sentiment.
They have no sentiment, though. You cut. Because at the end of the day, it's not about no coach, no legacy, no nothing. It's about the club. And the club doing well.
It's how his own business.
And this
which is that man, if you're not winning.
Yeah. And this is what I'm trying to tell United men for the longest while about this man called Tony Martial, right? You cannot be playing in this league for 5 years, though, and now hit 50 goals, though.
Yeah,
that is horrible. And I don't care about that he was a teenager and whatever, though. he was paid 55 million for it. He has a bloody Ballon d'Or clause in his contract, dog. Right? That's how highly rated he was. And yet, the man will score 8 goals this year, 8 goals that year, dog, and it's okay. Dog, Chelsea would not have waited that long, you know. Chelsea had had Torres struggling. You know what they do? They would have signed Diego Costa, dog, and tell Torres, hey, thanks for that goal against Barcelona, but hard luck, dog. If United wanted to be a serious club, dog, I would have taken that a little bit of form that Marcel catching the end of the season, dog, when nobody was watching him, dog, and the man was playing the training ground football. I would have chained up Roma while I paid 40-50 million for him, dog. Take that 50 million, pay 30 million to Wolves. Get Raul Jimenez, an actual striker, dog, with fantastic link play, fantastic clinicalness, dog, and spend that extra 20 on Reguilón, dog, and actually get a good left back.
I actually like Sweden,
but his sentiment is ruining at the top level. Like,
I think the sentiment will keep him already, actually.
Yeah, dog. I love Ozil to death, dog. And I genuinely, unbiasedly believe that he's the greatest playmaker I've ever seen, or one of the greatest of all time, dog. But I know, like 2 years now, dog, he's not suited to play in the Premier League anymore. And all we doing is tarnishing his reputation by keeping him here, dog. You know? And I know, like, on the outside, might be like, oh, well, it's his contract that keeping him there and whatever. But the club on one hand doesn't want to sell him, but on the other hand don't play him, and then he's just a bad. But you can't have sentiment at the top level, dog. And yeah, this sentiment is what is you keep back, dog.
Yeah.
That's how Newcastle always get relegated that year because they bring in Alan Shearer to be coach, all kind of thing.
They did relegated.
Yes,
Yeah.
dog. That can't cut it, dog. That's not good enough. But hey, I ain't charge no fuck.
Arsenal for sure this season need. This is everybody know that you can't. We understand. You gotta be realistic. And you know everybody can't push the league. You know that might go down to that might go down to be a two-horse race by halfway through the season.
Yeah.
But everybody else around know that they're strengthening and they're pushing for at least a cup.
Big to make off 11 has split this episode in two, though. We're on 35 minutes.
Yeah. This episode put in parts in there.
Oh, yeah.
Well, let me talk about your side, Virgil.
Yeah.
As you say, Chelsea and Arsenal improving on the up, on the rise. But City, like, just there.
Yeah.
Are you worried, bro?
Like, City just there. Like, I don't know what to expect from City.
I don't want to say a word for City because I feel like I know that we have the depth, and I know all the people strengthening around us on our best day, we have a gear that we can reach. We have a gear that the problem for that I could see from the season that went was we were struggling to get back that gear that we had in 2017-18, and we have the players got comfortable, and you know that they didn't have the competition, so you know it was very hard. It's that some players too who were getting old in age and too sentimental many times. So we try to incorporate Daryl Silva in games where we know that he's not supposed to be there. We need to just try and get a new life and see now.
You don't allow no foot supposed to be playing.
Yeah, right? with all the young players, because I know us bringing in. Okay, what we need is players that can be versatile. Bringing in men like Ake, bringing in men like Torres that could challenge.
I would so not be surprised though to see Ake go play left back.
No, yeah.
No, City has conceded the second least amount of goals last season.
Yeah.
Was Ake necessary?
Ake wasn't necessary at all because realistically we just needed to push for one
he necessary in the sense that last season Lampard fitness was our problem.
Yeah.
And you know Pep, like a lot of top managers right now, really want that balance at centre back, to have a left foot and a right foot.
Yeah.
And just like there is no backup for Steven, he went and get Fernando Torres.
Yeah.
And he went and get backup for Lampard. I mean, it was needed, but what he really needed is somebody to play next to him, which is the problem.
Yeah, and it's true. But he came in the interview and he talked to Pep, and Pep said that how he looking forward to use him in 3 different positions, and from that you can clearly pinpoint centre back, left back, and he could play defensively.
But he played the for Chelsea.
Yeah. So you see with all that, it's like you have this versatile player, so you know when somebody lacking, you can't just say, alright, you're lacking, you just go out there and you just try your best to find your form again. It's none of that anymore. It's you want the players come. That's why us bringing in players and making sure okay we have competition in every position. That's what it was. That's what we saw with Cancelo coming in and how that transformed Walker. We saw Cancelo now challenging and realize he wanted to fight for the squad and convert to left back and do better than our natural left back in Mendy. You're seeing those things and just the competition that we need because we can get back to that gear. Because once we get back to that gear we had in 2017, that's the real City right there. City right now, how we finished last season and I think it's 81 points. We are not a 81 point team.
Must be nice.
We are not a 81 point team. And
already is a 100 point team.
And from that you can clearly look at that because from over 2 seasons of getting that you understand where the comfort came in, you understand where the burnout came in. And you saw it there, you have men coming in that's just sitting down there, still no matter how bad still play content any season, we know it had nobody else. But I
still don't understand why Mahrez is starting Champions League.
And that's the thing, I didn't understand that either.
Pep just really like to overthink it.
Yeah, but the Champions League is a whole different conversation. Champions League is overthinking, but I feel like in the Prem, Mahrez, because we know De Bruyne is the main man.
Yeah.
We know it have men in that team that fight for the main man. We know before Aguero got the injury, he was our main man. We saw so good. We know Mahrez, we saw the creativity.
You think all the long sign us and all stuff?
Yeah. The plan is to sign 2 centre backs and with report and with Angelo now going back to Leipzig. The plan is to get a left back, but yeah, we still on that. And I feel like by the time we're ready to make moves for a left back, everybody else go and get snatched up. Really, I don't know why we.
How you mentioned should this be the season that City feels on?
This is this is the season where you realize if you can't hold on to him, you understand.
And then I'll talk about something.
You understand Aguero, and Aguero know that. We understand because we've been trying to do that with Gabriel, but you understand you can't get that out of Gabriel. But even if Gabriel was to be touted as the main man, you know you need that other strike, you need other source of goals. Because we saw how problems I was trying to put Sterling in strike. And trying to put Bernardo in strike, that don't make no sense.
We don't want to strike, huh?
We don't want to strike, and men forget that time when with Pellegrini in charge, we had 4 strikers. We had Aguero, Dzeko, Negredo, Jovetic, and it showed you needed when one man was off the field, another man coming. I'm not going to say Pep not going to that extent because we know Pep is a man have other ideas he want to try around, but we know next season there are a lot of targets for next season that we iron up already, and when those players come in, it all comes down to Aguero. We have the clause now for Aguero to understand he could leave whenever he wants. He could say when he wants to leave. He could. We
can say he even when City win the Champions.
Yeah, he did.
So I don't know.
Well, maybe
it's a lifetime contract.
He had to push if you want to make that little sentimental move back to Argentina, but. It's a lot of players we looking to get. We're looking to bring in that, and I feel like anybody else who we come in, I feel like Pep is the manager that can get the best out of anybody, and that's for all the new signings we have moving forward. The biggest thing that we need is depth and Guardiola.
We have depth.
Yeah.
And you have Guardiola.
So yeah.
So we talk about facing out Aguero. Could this be Pep last season too?
It really could be Pep last season, to be honest, because
the Pep really stay at clubs long.
Yeah, they still long. He ever stay at a club, and we know he enjoyed the project. And Pep has come out and said he in love with the City project or whatnot. But understand, for Pep, he knows for himself. He knows that you can tell that he's not really there to stay there for 6-7 years and create a dynasty there and stay there for. You understand that at some point Pep have to go, whether it be next season or the season after. I can't see Pep staying for more than 2 seasons. Can't. And I know it's the end of an era, and you saw that from David Silva move. Our whole team is going to change around. We are already looking for managers, and it's a lot going on behind the scenes that people don't know. We signing players and send them out to our other sister clubs just to get them experience for them to come back to the team. We have managers we send out to our sister clubs to play to know how to do I can't remember this Dutch man that went there. We have plenty other managers we send out because we look in, and we have other people we eyeing up in Poch. And we know people want to sit down with I have Nagelsmann, we don't know what Nagelsmann want to do.
How about you could jump on the former player with you? Well, not the former player.
Well, I'm Steven Ireland.
You will bring by I
Jerome.
don't you could do that for us like company and you know you're not going to do that because we understand hey
You see my courage is the job.
we understand this whole sentiment thing cool you know but we do not need
No, I 100% believe though that Chelsea that City wanted Arteta to take over.
that yes I can tell you that we wanted to
Arsenal
take
just
over.
was like totally against their plans.
So what about Vieira?
That he next man we try.
He'll be fine.
Next man. You're a City legend, my guy. And next man we try for.
New York City.
We sent them there because we realized his style of play don't really work for us. We said we let him go out the next season.
Yeah.
We have contacts with all them.
He really ain't doing good on these. He
really not doing good. So it really don't make no sense for us. So that's why right now we do everything we do just planning for the future. And if it's a team that planning for the future and you want to keep that strength going on in the future, you can't hold on to people. And you understand Pep will leave. You understand Pep has raised the bar for any future manager. You understand that respect the players coming in. You know that he's a hole in filling. Anybody that comes out to replace Aguero, understand the top scorer of the club. He's the top scorer. You have to come good. Anybody that don't come and hit the ground run like Aguero did, you not only go and hold on to them and wait and babysit for them to find the feet. That's why I think we're going a little sticky for Gabriel right now. We don't know what's going on with him.
Okay. Quick thoughts on Liverpool.
Liverpool.
Like City, I think Liverpool is there. And the lack of ambition in the window, it's not convincing me that Liverpool going to win the league again.
And I was not agree with that because remember Liverpool fans don't understand. You win a league. It's very difficult to do the back-to-back, you know. It's very difficult to do that. Because you won the league and we saw the other competitions that they went light on and they bottled in order to focus on the league. You want them to go at a whole different level. You want them to find a new, you want them to push for a domestic treble. They want them to push for like for a double. They want them to actually push in all other competitions. And I feel like that I know is something tough to even think about Liverpool doing because to have that fatigue going into the season, we already know how the pandemic and the league started back already. A team like Liverpool are not bringing competition and not bringing anything to strength, and for them to not indirectly admit that it's difficult to bring in players because they already have a core. You don't know if you might bring a player, it might upset the core. Liverpool right now, in order for them to do that the best way, is to focus on developing youths. But you know, developing youths, you might have to take a little loss a season. A season you might not win the Prem because you have the youths. You have to incorporate the youths for them to catch up to the pace with this big great team that you have. They one of the best teams in the world. But right now, Liverpool, unless they go out and get competition to keep that spark in the players, or be able to find something new, because after a while, teams going to understand what you're doing. Teams going to figure it out. Teams going to know how to play against you. Every manager runs out ideas. Without that, get a new personnel with somebody else could try around. So what are they going to do? Put Firmino center back in mid and try to put Salah as a main striker. What are they going to do? Just play man? And they have nothing else they can really do. They're limited to ideas. They need signings.
Well, they might get Thiago.
Which would be good for them?
My thing is, I think Liverpool asking for a win out at this point.
They are.
Because it's the same 11 basically playing together for 3 years now, but without any kind of real rest or rotation for them now. We saw injuries started sneak up last season. Henderson got injured, Fabinho got injured. He tried to rotate Fabinho every now and again now, but he really couldn't do it in his strike though. Like I remember at this game, he started Origi instead though, and I think he actually put Origi on the left and put Mane in the strike though. And they ended up losing, they were down 1-0. Then Origi got injured, Firmino come on and as soon as Firmino come on, game turned around, it was 2-1 before half time. It was Newcastle, I think, at Anfield, and I think it was Williams, just rose strength.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, it had no rotation in this side though, and the thing is like, I also think part of the problem is that the system is so player specific at this point. It kind of hard for him to find depth too now. That like, is there an next man out there really though? It's kind of hard to find out, but is there an next Bobby? Next one I kind of hard to find.
Was brought into forward squad there.
Yeah.
For me, no.
Yeah. And they try and upgrade on Wijnaldum, bringing Thiago.
Is that upgrade though?
Yeah.
But Thiago is old.
So.
I mean, it might be upgrade for the long run, but it's upgrade.
No, but yeah, because don't tell me this win. Just give man a match in the Champions League final, dog. You don't get how much better than that, dog. And the only reason he was moving on from Bayern is because Bayern wanted to move to Kimmich and Goretzka being two in the midfield because both of them young and could play together for long. But it wasn't because of lack of quality.
I don't know if Thiago have the legs to last a whole Premier League.
I think if he's managed well, he can. But that's the problem. He has had to manage well. And again, we're not talking about managing well, and yet we have a team now in question that does no rotation now. So, maybe not.
How are United?
I think once they get Jadon Sancho, and the referees still decided it.
Yeah.
I feel like no matter who United bring in, I feel like Oli not going to be there any long run. I feel like Oli not going to be able to take them to that level. I feel like they need.
I think the United problem was how do we talk about sentiment?
Yeah.
Oli is going to stay there.
Yeah, but I think a lot of players stay out of sentiment. Like, why Luke Shaw is still starting for them in 2020?
Exactly.
Why is they here after 2 horrible seasons done when you have Dean Henderson? Why is it even in question? Why is that? It takes 5 years for Arsenal to actually look decent though. Whereas Rashford was actually on course to have a 20-something goal season at a point though. Taking on the team back on his own though. Whereas all we see from Arsenal is inconsistency and he's still there. Now, could he go on and have a good season? Yeah, because there are players who turn around their careers long now. But the odds of it now are a lot shorter because you've seen what he's done before. And based on 5 years of experience, is that he flirts now, but he never comes.
If United do get Sancho, I don't think Mark Shaw will be cut in the front street. I think it will be Sancho Rashford Greenwood.
I mean, if I would do that too. I think Greenwood he's not quite generational, but he's a world-class talent. He really is.
Yeah, he has the energy. He has the energy that United need and United want.
And he has, because he's both-footed, it just makes him so unpredictable on how he's going to score. Like, being both-footed at like the area of the pitch is fantastic. But the two places that I think it comes in the most clutch is your striker and your press evader, your register DM kind of player.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think, like the first time I really saw it was with Carlswaller. Like, it made him unplayable when he started to play deeper. And like Frankie, I don't think Frankie is both-footed, but Frankie press evasiveness, if you add a both-footedness to him, makes him very hard to mark. And like Cruz and all, Cruz isn't fast, he isn't agile, but the fact that he is basically both-footed though makes him hard to mark. And I think there and in strike is like the two best places to be ambidextrous,
United top 4?
I feel like
I actually said on the show I think Spurs got finished off.
Yeah, I feel like they have if they get Sancho, I feel like off the talent they have alone they could secure top 4. But again, how much times top 4 really isn't anything good enough for United at this point in time, with these star players that they have and to have Ole. If you keep Ole, all you're going to do is become like what they used to clone Arsenal before. And they're going to turn to that, celebrating top 4. Celebrating 4th place.
Yeah, any dark horses? Leicester, Sheffield, or some Spurs.
I find like some case Spurs is up now, but I think like this is just like, now if he doesn't do it here, then for sure he's finished.
Yeah.
But I think this is like ideal Mourinho scenario though, for him to come up and do something this
Well,
season.
they've done all the time though.
I think so now, but I just think like one last dance Mourinho's
That
version.
dance was in Chelsea 2016.
You can't say that though, because he finished second with United after that.
And I feel like if Mourinho
And he won 3 things that year
I feel like
though.
if Mourinho had the players that he wanted with that United team, they weren't a pretty good football that United fans would enjoy, but United would look like a threat going forward. I feel like it's gonna be difficult for him to get the players he wants with this Spurs team and how Daniel Levy is. But I feel like if things do go Mourinho way, Mourinho will be that team that will upset everybody that trying to push for anything.
The expectations for the 3 promoted teams.
I think West Brom will work now.
Yeah.
I think
Leeds will actually finish top 10.
Yeah, and I think like anything less than that is rubbish. Although if I was United, though, I'd have gone and buy Calvin Phillips. I think like he's perfect when he beats an
He is.
And the fact that he's born to be an English international, him on his own should probably want to get into one of the more established clubs in the Premier League. Not at least is an established club in terms of English football in the Premier League.
In our Premier League club.
Yeah, and I think Fulham will scrape it and stay up. So on that note,
Fulham making signings recently.
Yeah, they get Areola, which to me is a huge signing though.
No, but remember last time he was in the Premier League, they signed Virgil to the went straight back up.
Rico was not a World Cup winner though.
True what?
No, I know. I mean, he's a bench keeper, but I think Fulham.
Areola, we can only see him now.
I think Fulham will scrape and stay up, like 16, 17, something like that. And on that note, I think Brighton, West Brom, and West Ham will so far.
I feel like West Brom for sure going on. I can't see Fulham doing it. I feel like Fulham will struggle, and I feel like if they have players there that teams might want to pick from Fulham, I feel like Fulham. I feel like they came up to it. I feel like they coming now they should wait a bit. I feel like Brentford would have been a much better choice to be up in the Prem, but I feel like they're going back down. And I feel like for me, I say that the team that's going down, it might actually be Crystal Palace. But for the other team that's the other team that came up in Leeds will do good. I feel like the same way how Aston Villa looked last season. I feel like that would be Leeds beating it. Because Bielsa there, but I don't feel like he'll be able to take them on a Sheffield United run. I feel like he'll be able to have them there and just be able to play good enough football to stay up.
Well, in the exciting time, John, your top 6 in order.
City, Liverpool,
City League.
yeah,
Okay.
Spurs, Chelsea.
Therefore,
United, they're Arsenal. No. Forget them.
Virgil.
This might be different to what we talked about before, but I feel like from just looking at everything now, I feel like Liverpool might struggle to push and make a title run. So I feel Liverpool will be second. I feel it'll be City, Liverpool, Chelsea, given Lampard, find the right formation and use the players well. I feel like he'll do it. United, I feel United will secure 4th. I feel after 5th will be Spurs, 6th will be Arsenal, 7. 6 will be Arsenal.
Well, are you going to call me mad? But Chelsea win the league.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah,
Chelsea win the league.
Yeah, football manager, I think.
No, Lampard play manager, so why not?
It's true.
Chelsea win the league because actually last time I felt this excited was 14-15 and we won the league in 14-15.
Yeah, but the side was way more established then.
Yeah.
Like, Chelsea only made 3 signings that year that was starters. And that was Fabregas, Costa,
Luis.
and Luis, yeah. No.
Yeah.
Luis only won 1 Premier League title with Chelsea,
Which is last season.
which was 16-17.
No, I talk about Felipe Luis.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
When he
yeah.
stopped starting as P and started it, and then
That's
as
like
to
later
retire
on
as
I
fast.
see.
But you see, so then it was really Fabregas and Costa. You're not integrated 8 men into, well, not 8, 7 men into our starting lineup. Because the only man you keep it from last season is Reese, hopefully, or Aspi, one of them. Suma, Kova. Yeah. Like that. Like that. And Pulisic, right? Yeah. So it's, Maybe.
Mount is Lampard's son, so yeah.
Right, yeah.
Now, Chelsea winning league, I would give City second.
And you look at me, who would have thought? That me?
Now, today's got the 10th, well, tomorrow will be the 11th. I'm marking on today and saying today is the day that I see Chelsea winning.
Alright, good.
So Chelsea winning league, City second, Liverpool 2.
Yeah.
I'll give Arsenal 4.
Hey, charity, but I appreciate that.
Just going from confusing to confusing. Continue.
United will pick fifth. And I'll go and
Jose
go.
Ray, not even to see how this season.
I'll go and go wild again.
And Wolves though.
Lead 6.
I mean, we all leave all Wolves though, but the Wolves they play good, you know. They play so good that you really wonder why,
The
where.
problem with Wolves are not competitive for a whole season.
Yeah, they're good in big games. That's about it.
Yeah.
I mean, if they keep playing the way they play against City, like,
Yeah.
yeah, we're all good for that.
We have a question from Drew, and he asking the top 5 contenders for Golden Boot.
You mean the 4 after over? Because he is winning Golden Boot now. He literally won it 2 years ago. He was one off it last year though.
But he didn't lift it up.
And what does your one need striker to see in this league? Oh, nothing, right? Is in my opinion is over Keane, Sterling, Salah, and Rashford. Yeah. I think that granted that they do get Jadon Sancho, I think Rashford will be the one to benefit the most, him and Bruno. Maybe Bruno might be given that he can be taking the pens too.
I watched him Portugal play and I wonder who taking pens for Portugal now.
Yeah, because I think I
Yeah,
said.
they have real.
Yeah, because Moutinho there, Ronaldo there.
Bruno and Salah take over.
Yeah, and I think I see Joe Felix
Yeah.
I take one the other day, yeah.
So,
Yeah, that might be.
Okay. Good.
Yeah. I feel.
Over you walk on the field first.
Over yes, right? I feel like Sterling, I feel like they want Sterling react how you want him to react, he will become top scorer.
You mean like if he go from missing scoring one in every 7 to one in every 5, right?
If he start being comfortable, he will be, that he will become the main man again.
Right.
Over Sterling, Vardy, I'll say Vardy. That's what Vardy does.
I think Vardy done this year.
I think he'll come close, but I don't think he'll be top 5.
He'll come, but he'll come. But I'll say Vardy will be there, and I would like to see Danny Ings for sure, and Kane, yeah.
Like going man again, straight out the bat, Bruno.
Well, yeah, we start from 5th, go up to continue. So that's it. You're going well, you're going perfect.
Well, I think we started 5th.
Do you think though that from what you see from Lampard that he's a ruthless manager?
Nah.
You see that is part also why I really
Like,
like that too.
Lampard cost all club, the touchline,
I don't want to left players though. Like for example, look, Cole, I make one back pass now and I might never start a game since though. I don't think, the thing is that I genuinely believe though that as of right now, based on what I've seen out there, that Tammy Abraham will be a better striker for the players around, who will be around both of them now. And given that I am worried, if I was a Chelsea fan, I would have been worried that Lampard would have started with an outer name and he just wouldn't drop him unless it's an injury or something. And even if form permits now, because money and whatever, I gotta play. I haven't seen one good link play from him. 2, I haven't seen a scrappy side of him, a fighter side of him in the box. And all those things are vital in being a Premier League striker. And like when you watch all his goals for Leipzig, it's be real nice goals now. Like real well set up goals and thing. But the Prem doesn't beat that all the time now. And he does, and
But
it's,
Bernard does have the players for that, no?
yeah, but again, this is also assuming that everybody just hits the ground running one time. Or it couldn't even be Brighton in our friendly. And they take a fluke goal for it to score. Dog, any Chelsea fan will try to convince me though that Tottenham though he meant to do what he do there though, lie to himself though. That man do so. He do so, but they're saying now what he meant to just
But Bernard poaching is exactly what I'm talking about.
But I don't see him as a poacher, you see.
I
I haven't seen like elite in the box movement from him either now. Like. He does real good coming into the box with the ball. He does really well with that. But like a lot of that Over did as well. But Over already had elite in the box movement. And since he's come on, so it's real rare though that he running in the box with the ball because teams play deeper in the Prem. They just do. You know, we don't play like Germany. In Germany, teams really try to play a high technical brand. They really do that. Part of that's playing a higher line. But in England, they do business though. They play deeper. And it doesn't have that kind of space to exploit it behind all the time. Only like when you're playing big teams, you know, like when you're playing City or Chelsea.
Yeah, Werner will try against you know, the big teams, but when you go up against Brighton and them men, he might not be the one to create a little chance or something, but
yeah.
I see him score.
Well, back to my top 5. Werner, the usual suspect, Over Kane.
Yeah.
I think I'm next Arsenal player. I don't be mentioned
Pepe, hey!
No, not Pepe.
That's the only one. It can't be
Lacazette season.
No, that man needs
It's
to
Lacazette
go.
season.
It's time to go.
Lacazette season.
I'll agree with you. I'm going to say Vardy too.
So why not Sterling and Salah? Because regardless if you take Sterling as a good finisher or
And
not,
Mane,
he gets 7 chances a game to score.
But does he score all 7 times?
No, he doesn't. But he scores 1, and if he scores 1 chance, 1 goal a game, that's 38 goals. So obviously there's gonna go games where he wouldn't score. So that means that he'll finish this season with like 25, which is a lot. Because he finished last season with what it was 18 in the year, 19 in the year, something like that. And last year was a low scoring year, but that was only 4 off the top. And the year before he was in the 20s, them managers scored inevitably because of how good these clubs are compared to the rest of the league. Because, like, for example, I think that in the world of football right now, there's a deficiency in good defenders. Part of that is because defenders are being asked to do more and they just aren't capable of it. Not everyone is. And part of that allows attackers to just get more space and more room. Like Van Dijk is an anomaly. You know, and in the upper echelon of the game where there's actual world-class defenders, there's like 7 of them now, 8 of them. You know, you have him, you have Varane, you have Ramos, you have Marquinhos, you have Kielin still, you have Lampard, and then you just had to drift off though. You know, our actual world-class defenders. Thiago Silva is still good, don't worry.
Well, fellas, it was nice.
It was good though, this was a nice conversation though.
Hold on,
1 minute, hour, 8 minutes. Yeah, real content to do.
This was a good episode, still.
Yeah, I really hope everybody watches it though, because it was a really good conversation. What happened more than.
And of course, this will be on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and all of them.
It means a lot to us as creators when you guys subscribe. It really helps. Helps the numbers too when we try to get paid. You know? So yeah.
Especially when we try to get paid.
Yeah, especially trying to get paid.
It was nice, fellas. Thanks for the studio. Thanks for
anytime.
the conversation. We'll see you guys next time.
Yeah, anytime next. It was good.
Alright, peace. We gone.
Boom.
That is it.